Hi, my name is Megan Hance. This is my parental apathy case study presentation. For the problem identification and analysis, these are the things that I do know. I know that the principal is not in favor of any parent involvement committees such as the PTO or the PTA. I know that the school has had some organizations like this in the past, but since this new principal or this other principal has been here, they're no longer in effect. I know that Mrs. Rose is the assistant principal, and she's just graduated with her admin degree, so she has a lot of knowledge from her community relations class. She has some experience with that, and she's looking to put that to good use. I know that the principal has says he's in direct contact with the community and says that they don't want to be involved, and they think that the educators should do everything. And I know that only 8 parents showed up to their first parent meeting that they had informed all of the parents about. What do I need to know? I need to know why the principal believes the community and the parents don't want to be involved. What reasons does he have for this? Obviously, Mrs. Rose is new to this position, so she kind of needs to do some background digging to figure out why he feels like that. I need to know why the parent organizations that used to be in place are no longer in place. What happened for them to stop kind of happening? I need to know if they're going to have the parent meeting that night, since only 8 parents showed up. What are they going to do? I need to know what the principal will let Mrs. Rose do now. She has a lot of ideas and she wants to get some things rolling and people involved, but I need to know what the principal is going to actually let her do regarding that, and what kind of compromise could everybody agree upon to meet the needs of the principal, the assistant principal, the students, the parents, and the community members. The problem is that at John F. Kennedy School, there's not any parent involvement whatsoever. The assistant principal is trying to get some sort of parent involvement started, but the current principal is not interested in doing that. He's not interested in starting a PTO or a PTA and really doesn't want to get any parent involvement started. Here's my proposed action plan. There's a couple different steps. I would continue to have the meeting with the parents that did show up. I think it's important for them to know that they're important and we want to hear their advice and their input, and obviously they want to be involved, so it's important for us to let them be involved. Even if there isn't that many people that showed up, some still did, so we need to hear them out and see what they have to say, and then let them listen to us and what we want to see happen. We need to I would create a list of ideas of how I think we could get more parents or community members involved and present it at a meeting that I'd like to schedule with the principal after I've kind of done some research and digging. So that brings me to my next point. I would ask the principal to meet with me after that parent meeting the first night and just kind of hear him out fully on why he's not interested and figure out the background, like I had mentioned before, what's happened in the past. And then both of us could create a plan to assist this. It's obviously an issue not having parent involvement, so we need to create a plan to figure out why and what we can do, steps we can take, and then one of those things on that plan would be to start up a parent organization that meets everyone's needs. Some strategies I would use during this whole action plan process is to just kind of have an open door policy with parents, students, community members, and the principal. Let them come to me and talk to me about anything that they would like to. I'd like to find some success stories. I know most schools do have a PTO or a PTA or some sort of parent organization, so I'd like to find some good examples of that and be able to present it to the principal and people that don't believe we may need this. I'd like to get the parents involved for future decisions. A good place to start is the ones that showed up to that first meeting. I would remain positive. I know that a PTA or a PTO or some sort of parent organization is beneficial, so I'd remain positive about that and make sure that that is shown. And I'd also use effective communication. I thought it was good of Mrs. Rose the first time the principal mentioned that he didn't think parent organizations were a good idea, that she kind of didn't say anything the first time, and then she was going to figure out more after. I don't think it's effective to argue and go bicker back and forth. I think you need to use effective communication and be positive in that communication. To resolve issues based on what's best for all, I would I believe that increasing involvement with parents will increase the morale and the success for the students. The more people that are involved in promoting that, um, what's best will create more success for those students. I'd go forward with the plan with the principal to create a better environment by getting more people involved. And I would like to start hosting events and activities to raise involvement with the parents, the students, the community members, give everybody a good chance to come together, get to know each other, and then from that, the more people that come every time, hopefully more people would want to become involved. Some facts from the case study: when making um, those ideas, some parents did show up to the first meeting, so obviously there is some want to be involved. They wouldn't come if they didn't want to, and if they didn't want to be involved. So we need to remember that some parents did come. It's not really a lost cause. But at the same time, we need to remember that very few parents showed up the first time. So we need to figure out how we can meet the needs of everyone to create some organization. And we, like in the case study mentioned, the school previously had a parent community involvement. So we need to figure out how that ran and what we could model after that. During this case study, I was thinking about why parents wouldn't want to be involved and what happened in the past to get to that point. I think it's really rare to not have a ton of parent involvement. I know some places have a little, but everywhere I've been or heard of, there's at least some. So I'm kind of trying to think about why they don't want to be involved. Do they all have really crazy jobs and personal lives, or no time to be involved, or did they just have a bad experience in the past? I was feeling really frustrated to have to work with the principal that seemed pretty close-minded, and he wasn't really open to any ideas. He didn't really want to hear what Mrs. Rose had to say. I think that would be really frustrating for you to believe in something and there kind of be no shared interest on the other side. For example, when the principal said he was in direct communication with the community and he just sensed that parents didn't want to be involved, he knew that. He knew the community and he knew that they wouldn't want to be involved. I think that's really frustrating. And I was valuing my knowledge working with community members and parents from the community relations class. In situations where you have to help start up parent involvement in organizations, it's helpful to have experience and knowledge in that area so that you are able to do that. There's still a couple unresolved issues or issues that may need to be further investigated. What type of parent or community organization will meet the needs of everyone? There's some PTOs and PTAs that are really involved and meet every week and host events and are always at school and doing things like that. Or there's some that meet maybe once a month, every other month, and kind of do a few events. We need to figure out what the parents are going to want to do and what can meet the needs of everyone. After we've all come to an agreement about that, will the principal be on board? Will he be interested in helping? What's his feelings going to be about that? And then will the parents and community members continuously be involved, or will it start big at the beginning and kind of fade out over time like the old parent involvement did? To show that I collaborated with family and community, we held meetings with parents, not just that first one. We're going to keep holding the meetings to be able to gain the input and advice that the parents had to be able. We listened to their needs and wants, how much they wanted to be involved, how little, and we would co-host the events and activities to be able to get more people involved. Like I said before, hopefully with every event that happens, the more people would come each time, and then therefore more people would be involved. The diverse community needs and interests. Obviously, there's a couple parents that showed up, but not very many. So you have different needs in the community and obviously different interests. We asked for parents' advice and input to see what they would be interested in doing, how much time do they have to give, how much involvement do they want. We started the organization with the help of parents and set it up with the parent focus so that we know that the parents would continue to utilize the organization, not just fizzle out. And we provided different opportunities to be involved, such as they could be a part of the parent organization or could help out at the activities or events in the community or at the school. To mobilize community resources and to show how everyone was involved, the parent organization or community organization will allow members to be involved. Anyone can join that, so that's one way to be involved. We did listen to ideas, advice, and input, and we will continue to do that, and it can be shared freely at these meetings. Community members can also be involved in events at the school easily. I know in the past we've had speakers come for these events, or like a big carnival, and parents can be involved. There's tons of different ways to get people involved, so these are just a couple of those. And that is my presentation.